Do you know how Rudeus's friends reacted to Roxy? After returning to school with Roxy, who applied to be a professor, Rudeus introduced her to his friends and acquaintances. He found Linnea and Persina's reactions to Roxy amusing. As soon as they caught her scent, they twitched with attention, and when Rudeus introduced her, they bowed to Roxy. In contrast, Ariel and Luke were oblivious. When he introduced her, they gave Roxy a blank look, clearly surprised that someone so young-looking would be a professor. However, Ariel, with her diplomatic skills, still greeted Roxy politely without showing confusion in her voice. Rudeus wasn't pleased with Nanahoshi's reaction. Her only response was, "I see." So Rudeus elaborated on Roxy's greatness, but Nanahoshi just grimaced and called him a cradle robber. Rudeus figured Roxy's greatness was too much for a high school girl to grasp. Although he also wanted to introduce Roxy to Cliff, he heard some passionate moans from Cliff's lab and decided to leave it for later. Roxy found Rudeus's constant praise of her during the introductions excessive and thought he was teasing her when he said that he was actually selling her short. Rudeus never introduced Roxy as his wife, only as his teacher. When Roxy made him aware of that, he found it unforgivable. Although he did introduce her as Roxy M. Greyrat, he thought that was still no excuse not to properly introduce her as his wife. He was just too caught up in emphasizing Roxy's greatness and thought that their marriage was obvious. Part of him also believed that Roxy was too good for him. He wanted to introduce himself to her parents to make it up to her. However, Roxy declined, saying it was a long trip, so they decided to leave that for the future.